All right. A lot of people don't understand, but Terrence Crawford is the dark-skinned Sugar Ray Robinson. Terrence Crawford is the modern-day Sugar Ray Robinson. They have a similar frame. Terrence Crawford has a 74-inch reach. He's 5'8". Ray Robinson was taller. Ray Robinson was almost 6 foot tall, with around a 73-inch reach, 72 and a half, give or take. But both of these men, they fight in very similar styles. They both had crazy power in both hands. They know how to put combinations together. They were both offensive minded fighters, guys that understand angles but would never shy away from a brawl. If you in here, make sure you liking the live. But yeah, Terrence Crawford is the dark skinned Sugar Ray Robinson. I think that Terrence Crawford is underappreciated. I think that he's one of the best fighters of this era. He fights very similar to Sugar Ray Robinson, but I don't think he had it in the looks department. Like, you know, Sugar Ray Robinson was considered to be a pretty boy. Sugar Ray Robinson kind of favors ASAP Rocky. So when you're boxing really well and you have mainstream attractiveness, it helps to sell your name more. But Terrence, he doesn't necessarily have that mainstream look. And that's why he isn't as popular as Ray Robinson was, but he does a lot of the same shit. Somebody says, who you got, Ryan and Haney? I got Haney, but I'm going to go more into that shit once we get closer to that. I'll be posting about that in about Monday and Tuesday. I'll post about Ryan and Haney. But right now I'm talking about Terrence Crawford. Do you think Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo if Canelo goes to 154 and Crawford goes up to 154? Canelo isn't physically capable of making 154. He said it himself. Canelo said himself that he's not physically capable of making 154 anymore. I mean, the man has competed at light heavyweight, so it would be him killing himself to go to 154. So that's not even worth talking about. Now, Terrence Crawford, once again, is the dark-skinned Ray Robinson. He's the modern-day Ray Robinson. They fight the same. It was a video that I watched. I'm going to do a TikTok video on this, but when Ray Robinson was fighting Joey Maxim in the first round, he did the same trap that Terrence Crawford does, where they jump in, they may come in with like a jab or two, then they jump out real fast, and they expect the opponent to chase them. When the opponent chases them, that's when they let off these bombs. And since they have real long arms, most of the time the guys run right into the punch. So these guys use some of the same traps. They had the same gangly arms. They had this very similar frame. They were both extremely wiry in the ring. They know how to flurry, they know how to brawl, they know how to jab, they know how to set up power shots, and they get knockouts in championship fights. Ever since Terrence Crawford has gone to 147, he's knocked out every welterweight. Sugar Ray Robinson at welterweight was just as devastating. Was knocking guys out left and right for belts. In big title fights, these guys come out with knockouts. Buzz power is very underrated. Buzz everything is underrated. I think it's, if you in here, make sure that you're tapping that screen that you're liking a lot. If y'all in here, make sure you're liking a lot. But when you look at Terrence Crawford, the only thing he's missing is mainstream looks. Sugar Ray Robinson, he got his hair, he had the white boy hair. You know, he got the perm. See, Sugar Ray Robinson had the James Brown, the slick back. He did that for his appeal, so he could appeal to a global audience. And it worked. Although you're not going to see me put no damn perm in my hair. But people consider Sugar Ray Robinson to be a pretty boy. Terrence Crawford doesn't have that. So for whatever reason, he hasn't been marketed very well. But looks go a long way. Terrence is missing the mainstream look. I love how his southpaw jab is really a power shot. Facts. Terrence southpaw jab, as Mike Tyson stated, is a battering ram. Terrence Crawford ducked Virgil Ortiz Jr. again from 147 to 154. Virgil Ortiz Jr. isn't nobody for you to say Terrence ducked him. Do you think Devin Haney can beat Boots in 2 to 3 years at 147? No. I think that Devin shouldn't go to 147 to the end of his career. Boots is a guy that's going to be fighting at 154 and possibly 160 one day. Boots is naturally bigger than Devin, and Boots looks to be a little bit more naturally talented. Devin is a very talented boxer, but he's a super, super hard worker. That's why he is a world champion. That's why he was undisputed at lightweight. But at the end of the day, this man is coming from lightweight. So for him to go all the way up to welterweight in just 2 to 3 years, that would be a feat, and that would be extremely dangerous. With all that, there were Boots and outboxing, because we saw what Karen did. Devin is a pure boxer. Karen was a guy with like a 78-inch reach. He gave Boots a little bit of problem just by having movement. So Devin Haney, if he goes in there and he stays true to his game, stays true to himself, he could outpoint Boots. But I would still pick Boots to win. Boots seems to be extremely talented. If y'all in here, make sure y'all liking the live. Make sure y'all tapping that screen, man. You got a favorite NFL team? You off topic. It was good, Wickedy.
Look,
Chilling, man.
echoing now, am I?
I don't know. You be echoing usually, so just when you ain't talking, make sure you mute the mic. What do you think about
Oh shit.
Terrence Crawford being the dark skinned Ray Robinson or the modern day Ray Robinson?
I mean, that's kind of like it, yeah. I mean, he's got skill like him. You know, I'm not gonna say he's better than Ray Robinson, but
I
he's
mean, he's
got skill.
undefeated. Ray Robinson Ray Robinson lost fights that he wasn't supposed to lose. Like when Ray Robinson lost to Randy Turpin, that was his first time really fighting a black fighter for in a big fight, in a title fight. And he lost. And they said he wasn't training as hard. We've never seen Terrence Crawford bullshit with the training. So a lot of these modern day fighters that go undefeated, like Floyd and Terrence, it's not necessarily because they're more talented than somebody from back in the day. But what they don't tell you about the back in the day fighters is a lot of them was abusing certain drugs. A lot of them were enjoying the nightlife too much, not focused on the fight, and that's where the loss comes in. KJ, he knocked out Randy Turpin in the rematch. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but he lost the first one. Terrence Crawford is still undefeated. Terrence Crawford's resume, when you look at the names, Sugar Ray Robinson fought a lot of bus drivers, a lot of cab drivers. He did fight some champions, but he would fight the same bus drivers 4 and 5 times. He fought Jake LaMotta 5 times and beat him every time except for once. So what's the point of y'all fighting 5 times? We know that you're better than Jake. That's how you end up with a record of, 100 and whatever. What was he? 132 and one or some shit. That's how you end up with an inflated record like that. You're fighting people that you're better than repeatedly. So if you want to go off resume, Sugar Ray has a great resume for his time, but his resume don't compare to Terrence Crawford. Terrence is undefeated. I think he's 37-0 with like 30 KOs or more. Sugar Ray
Well, what
Robinson
wasn't
everybody from 135 to 160.
what
Sugar Ray
was
Robinson didn't start his career at 135. He started his career at welterweight. So what you mean? It's easier to be undefeated with less fights.
and he went up to
You could
light
say that,
heavyweight.
but at the end of the day, most of the guys they were fighting were tomato cans. Most of their records, those guys back in the day, they would fight anybody. And even if they knocked them out in the first round, they'd be able to fight them again the next week. You can't do that nowadays because a motherfucker will look at your opponent and tell you straight up, why are you fighting this guy? Back then they didn't care. Like as long as they saw a certain name on there, they don't care if you was fighting someone's grandmother. If she looked like a man, they'd throw her ass in there, get knocked out. People have a good, they go to the party, they have a good time. That's how it was back in the day. You can't do that nowadays. You really can't compare era for era.
Well,
Right.
if Ray Robinson does what, or I mean, what if Crawford does what Ray Robinson does, then he'll be more appreciated like Robinson. Like he'll be put like side by Robinson because
What do you mean if
like
he does what Ray Robinson
like
does?
because the thing is like Robinson moved up from 147. He beat people at 160 and like he dominated middleweight, and then he went up to light heavyweight to fight Joey Maxim, and then he fatigued. He was fatigued, got like fainted because it was like 115 degrees, and he was beating Joey Maxim, but he
Well,
collapsed. They had to get
Joey Maxson didn't faint.
no Ray Robinson fainted.
I know. I'm saying people say Ray lost to Joey because it was hot, but Joey Maxson didn't faint. They were both under the same heat. Ray
Yeah,
lost
but
to Joey Maxson because Joey Maxson was too big for him to be fighting.
yeah,
The
but he
heat
was
played
winning.
a factor, but he had no business fighting that light heavyweight.
Yeah, I agree, but he was winning that fight until
Yes,
he
he was.
collapsed. That's what happened. But until Crawford does something like that, like insane, like moves up in weight and fights someone and dominates middleweight, and nowadays we have super middleweight, and he has to go past that.
Fuck
Then
no, he don't gotta go to no damn. Things is different. First off, they had same day weigh-ins back then. But right now, those guys at super middleweight, a lot of them really could be fighting at light heavyweight. If Crawford could go up to 154 and dominate, he'd be right there with Ray Robinson. The guy, even when you look at the footage, the guys that Ray was fighting at middleweight and Ray himself, they were all smaller. Number one, because a lot of them weren't on PEDs, and number two, they had same day weigh-ins, so you had to be in a whole different type of shape.
Yeah, you're right. As a matter of fact, he don't have to go up to 175. Well, if he did, but that's what I mean. Ray Robinson didn't need to do that, but he did though. That's the
No,
thing.
Ray
Like,
Robinson did have to go up. You know why? Because they didn't have 154. It was just middleweight. So it was
that's true.
welterweight, then middleweight. They didn't have 154. He didn't have a choice. Also, Ray Robinson could no longer make welterweight. He was too big. He was starving his stuff. So the last fight he had at welterweight, he tried to get on the scale, couldn't make it, and then he went up after that. He had to go jog or some shit to get back to weigh in. He had to do two weigh-ins that day, and then he went up and fought at middleweight ever since. And he ain't have no problems with the scale ever since then. But really middleweight was for him. He had filled out. Middleweight was the weight that he was supposed to be at. Terrence Crawford 154, and maybe he could finish at 160, but he only has about 3 or 4 fights left. Terrence is on the other side of it. He's just still very fast and dangerous. But Father Time beats all.
I think Terrence Crawford is a special athlete like Mayweather and Pacquiao. I think he could fight in his early 40s. I really do.
Yeah, he could if he wants to, but it's like for what? Robinson didn't outgrow welterweight. He usually came in barely 155 at middleweight. If 155, you probably don't. I don't know if you fight or not, but once your body grows out to a certain point, going from 155 back to 147, that could be devastating. Robinson himself, when he tried to weigh in for welterweight, his last welterweight fight, he struggled to make weight. So he had to go work out the same day because they had same day weigh-ins, then come back and get another weigh-in, and then fight that night. That's why he moved up. After a while, you can't make weight. Floyd Mayweather, his last fight at 130, he didn't eat for 3 days because he couldn't make it no more. He couldn't make the weight no more.
I see a lot of fighters doing that to themselves. Boxing, that's the most brutal part of it. It's not even the fighting, it's
Yeah,
the
it's the
making
weight
the
cut.
war.
That's why
Yeah, yeah.
most people couldn't box because they think that okay, I'm just gonna go in here, train, and throw punches. You have to cut weight and make weight in order to go out there. So now you got to fight with depleted nutrients and shit. Most people can't get over that. That's really why the boxers they train so hard because you got to be able to fight with nothing really on your stomach, especially in the amateurs. It's better in the pros. And last time my man Keffel was up here, he explained that a lot of dudes are doing IVs and shit nowadays.
Yeah, they are for real. Get their hydration back up.
Yo, what's up, um, Tito Ortiz ex-wife?
The thing that I'm trying to say is if you put any athlete from the 50s against an athlete from today, they're going to lose.
Who?
No. The
Any
fighters
No,
of
no, hold
today
on, hold on.
are
Which ones? Let's be specific. Which ones?
Ray Robinson, Sonny Liston, any boxer from the 50s, they wouldn't be able to compete today.
Okay, well, I'm gonna explain to you this. When you watch, all right, Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson, he had to go fight at middleweight because they didn't even have 154. But when you watch Jermel Charlo, are you convinced that he has more skill and power than Ray Robinson?
More power, yes. Athleticism, yes.
Okay, so hold up. You said more power. Do you understand that Ray Robinson competed at light heavyweight and they didn't have 154, so he also fought middleweights, 160-pound middleweights, and knocked them out. We've never seen Jermel Charlo go past 154. So if you're saying Jermel Charlo has more power than Ray Robinson, on what grounds are you saying that?
It's just boxers back in the day, their training methods were so crazy. They used to soak their hands in diesel. That's the science isn't there.
I mean, you're talking about science. Boxing is a pretty basic sport. A lot of these motherfuckers nowadays don't even like doing road work. A lot of them are on PEDs. Back in the day, they did that road work religiously. That's why you've seen a lot of them going 15 rounds. They used to fight for 15 rounds. There's fighters today that could barely get through 12. Heavyweight, matter of fact, let's look at heavyweights. Heavyweights used to fight for 15 rounds. There are heavyweights that by the 12th round, they don't even have their balance anymore. So I would have to disagree with you when it comes to the science. At the end of the day, the human body hasn't evolved that much in 50 years. And that's even if you believe in that form of evolution. But in 50 years, humans have not changed that much. A lot of them dudes back in the day were more hungry. The sport was different. It was less money in the sport unless you made it to the very, very pinnacle. So motherfuckers was out there fighting with that dog in them. And I'm
yeah,
telling you right now, I don't got Jermel Charlo beating Sugar Ray Robinson at all.
yeah, and
Sugar Ray's skill level is one of the highest skill levels that you can watch on camera, on film. He's up there with Floyd and Salvador Sanchez and Pernell Whitaker when you look at his skill level.
so I have something to tell you that I'm connected to what KJ just said about fighters. They can barely even go 12. Go back to the early 20s. They went 100 rounds, bros, a
Now
day.
that's
No,
different though.
I mean, unless
I
you're
can't say the 20s because the pace was so slow. They did so much holding. So when you holding that damn much,
And the,
like the referee wouldn't even break it. He would let them hold each other for like a minute. So when you holding that much, you could go 40 and 50 rounds because it was just a whole different style of fighting. So I can't really get what you on the 20s point, but most of the boxers in the 50s, they would beat a lot of the guys now. Like I'll give you an example.
toughness.
Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali in his prime in the 60s, he would beat every heavyweight alive today. Those heavyweights could not fight for 15 rounds on their toes
Heavyweight
like Ali.
alive today.
Hey, yo, Tito,
Those
your
heavyweights could not
shit
fight
is
for
what's it
50.
called from a mutual. Your mic is repeating. But Ali was the most talented heavyweight ever. He had the fastest hands ever of any heavyweight. He had the best stamina ever of any heavyweight. Best reflexes ever of any heavyweight. So when you talk about old fighters and new fighters, we have yet to see a heavyweight that could fight with the talent that Ali had. And Ali, his best days was in the 60s. His worst fights was in the 80s. Some of his better fights in the 70s, but his best days were in the 60s. So it's been it's been 70 years since Ali was in his prime, and we have not seen a fighter who could fight like Ali in the heavyweight division. Do you think Ali steamrolled Usyk? Yes. Ali in his prime will run through the guys of today. They're just not, the heavyweight is not as talented as it used to be, and it's because a lot of the great black athletes are not going into boxing. A lot of the great black big men are going into football and basketball. So like somebody like a Julio Jones, he grew up trying to be a wide receiver. He didn't grow up boxing. That's the difference. Megatron, was it Chad Johnson? Not Chad Johnson. What's his name?
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson. He grew up playing football. Totally different.
You think Ali's hands are faster than Tyson's, KJ?
Ali was a larger man than Tyson. So,
It's his hand speed though.
and I'm gonna tell you this: Ali jab was timed as being faster than Sugar Ray Robinson's jab, and Ali was a heavyweight. Ray Robinson was a middleweight. Ali was a freak of nature. He was a freak of nature. Tyson, he was quick, but a lot of it was because he was actually not a real heavyweight. Tyson was actually not a real heavyweight. He was a undersized heavyweight. He really should have been fighting at cruiserweight. Ali was a real heavyweight, and he could move as fast as a middleweight, and that's not made up. That's the truth. He was really like that.
KJ Tyson's been 215 pounds since his teens though.
Yeah,
Well, you
I was
know,
gonna
no,
say that.
Tyson, Custom Model actually helped him. What's up, Don Judah? But Custom
What's
Model
up?
actually helped him gain that weight. When Tyson was a teenager, he was around 185-ish. But Custom Model had him eating a certain diet and doing a certain amount of calisthenics for him to put on the weight. And if you look at his box rec, he went from being light in 200 pounds to being 212 to going all the way up to 220 and stuff.
Neither one of them was heavyweights, to be honest with you.
Right. But Ali was better for him because Ali had that height. So as you get older and you got that height on you, that's gonna give you natural weight.
And Mike had the width.
Yeah, but
Yep.
listen, Tyson fighting at cruiserweight, that's murder, bro. If he was
Yeah,
doing
Tyson
that to
might as well defeat
heavyweights,
it.
He
was
was never made cruiserweight. Once he became at 18, 19 years old, he naturally became a larger person. So
and they were forced. Well, they weren't forcing them, but the calisthenic regimen, if you go look it up, it was thousands of sit ups and push ups and them dips and shit. And Cuss was feeding him, steaks and shit every day. Like motherfucker was eating. He was eating enough food for him to put on that become 200 something pounds. So once he was grown, that was the weight that he has. And even now, you can see that he did it natural because unlike Holyfield, whose body is all broken down, Tyson's still strong. He still got that musculature.
yeah,
Hey,
you're right. You seen that, right? I seen
yeah,
that Holyfield shadow boxing thing, and I almost cried. I
yeah.
couldn't look like he gaining Parkinson's or something, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
he got the Parkinson's. He might get the Parkinson's from that damn taking all those shots. Holyfield was a warrior, but Holyfield's body doesn't work the same because when you do all that shit, and I ain't trying to get on LeBron, but when you do all of that shit, it come back on you. That's not healthy for the human body.
No, it's not.
Tyson, he was natural, and now as an old man, he still can go in there and move and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that.
Yo, I just wanted to say one thing about like the old fighter versus new fighter argument. I'm not big into boxing, but I'm big into MMA. And people
Mhm.
always bring up like the how they used to train back in the day and this and that. And it's like if you put the old fighters in today's era, they would have the training protocols, the recovery protocols, the more
Exactly.
skilled training partners, and then vice versa. If you put the new fighters back then, they're not going to have all the stuff they have. So,
Greatness,
like, it's hard
greatness
to
is
make those
greatness.
arguments.
Yeah, greatness is greatness. If somebody want to be great, they put the work in. Whatever era they're gonna be in,
Yeah,
they're gonna stand out.
exactly.
Especially if they have the
Yeah.
talent. But
Yeah.
hey, Don, dude, I gotta ask you something, man. I was thinking about Terrence Crawford when I was looking at his wiry frame, looking at his arms, looking at his punch power, his skill set, and
Yeah.
to me, he's like a dark skinned Ray Robinson. He's like a
Oh, that's
modern
what you're
day
saying?
Sugar
Oh,
Ray
okay.
Robinson.
I
Huh?
missed that. That's why I seen it and I put in there, who's the dark skinned Ray Robinson? I was trying to figure
Terrence,
that out.
that man right
Oh,
there,
okay.
man.
TC. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
when
think
you
he
look at
had
the
that.
style, go
I
ahead.
think he's a great fighter, but I don't think he had that. This word we used to say Ray Robinson had. Notice I'm talking about watching it on video because I'm not that old.
Right.
The killer instincts like Robinson had in that ring. Like if
Oh, you
you
don't think he got killer instinct?
not he got it, but not like Robinson. Like
Man, the
Robinson
man
was
got
a
all type of not. Hey, hold up. Do you know
yeah,
since
but
going
we're
to
talking about
welterweight, he
different
stopped
levels though.
everybody since he went to welterweight?
Now let's put it this way. You see how he stopped spins?
Yeah.
All right, Ray Robinson did 20 of those. That's what I'm saying. He
Okay.
had the opportunity to show it against more fighters, more
Okay,
top, top level fighters, I should say.
but the
Ray,
thing is this: Ray Robinson. When you look at his box rec, number one, he'll be able to fight the same guys over and over. And a lot of those dudes that he was fighting when he built that big record, they wasn't champions. Like they was running the mill fighters. He did knock
yeah,
out champions though. Like he was somebody. He's one of those dudes where he was matched up well, but he also could beat the best in the world. But
yeah,
there's no way that you end up with a record of 121 and one or whatever it is without fighting a bunch of cans. There's not that many champions around.
yeah. But he also, not to be biased, but Ray Robinson came up in New York. And if you remember, even if you wasn't from New York, a lot of great amateurs used to come to New York to fight. So he ran through a lot of future great fighters when he was an amateur, and he was undefeated.
Oh yeah, he's knocking, and they didn't have the headgear.
So
If
he
you
was,
watch on YouTube, he's knocking the
yeah,
dudes out.
he was undefeated as an amateur.
Yep,
So then his welterweight career we never seen. We only can read about it, but we never
yep.
seen. And then another thing we got to understand that back in them days we don't know because some people they didn't carry to today saying they was a great fighter. So we don't know some of them fighters that he fought. We don't know what they potential was back then. We don't know who they were. So we can't judge it like we could right now.
Here's what we do
Live.
know though. Here's what we do know. Ray Robinson fought Jake LaMotta 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Robinson more talented than Jake LaMotta. Nowadays, he would not be able to fight Jake LaMotta 5 times because nobody would pay for the shit.
Nah, hell no.
That's what I'm so
If
that's what I'm saying. You can't fight a man 5 times.
No,
And
you can't.
even the other guy, Gene Former, they fought I think 4 or 5 times. So
Yeah.
when you're doing that, you're fighting guys over and over, your record is going to be big. And he was more talented than both of those guys.
Yeah.
So that's my point. But I can't really take away from Sugar Ray. To me, Sugar Ray Robinson is potentially the best fighter of all time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when I look at Terrence Crawford, I think he's extremely underrated. And I think a lot of it got to do with the looks, man. I'm talking
My
about from the
turn.
casual standpoint.
Oh,
Sugar Ray,
okay. Yeah, I
people
see what
consider
you're
him to
saying.
be,
Yeah, being
a looker.
skinny and scrawny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make people think
And
he,
they called Sugar Ray pretty and all of that. Like he was basically Ali before Ali, but he didn't talk the same trash as Ali.
nah, he didn't. He actually told Ali to be quiet.
Right. Yeah, I seen that in the damn he put his hand on
My
Ali's
turn.
mouth. But I think that Terrence Crawford, he didn't have the look marketability wise, so people they kind of forget his greatness in the ring.
My
Exactly.
turn. Can I say something?
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, do not disrespect Ray Robinson. Look, Bart Crawford, a great fighter. He has beat one good fighter in Spence.
No.
If one good fighter in Spence, let me talk. If Spence didn't have all those good fights with Danny Garcia, Ugas, Spence was more like in terms of a car. If you race a car harder, right? Who was run harder? Spence or Bud? Spence.
Bud got more fights than Spence.
Come on. Fighting
I'm
smaller
saying
fighters.
you.
Fighting smaller fighters. Okay, let me talk. Listen, Bud has beat one welterweight, one good welterweight, one, and you guys
Okay,
want.
I got a question, man.
And you guys, let me finish. And you guys want to put him in the Mount Rushmore, bro? Tito Trinidad, who killed Crawford. Tito Trinidad will have killed Crawford.
Oh no,
Oscar,
hell no.
Bugging.
oh
Listen,
Hell
hold
no.
up.
Crawford would have
Hold up.
So
Let me
okay,
torn that
okay,
ass like
so
Hopkins did.
so everybody in Crawford's record is better than Tito Trinidad. Everybody that Crawford beat.
Yes, man. Crawford would have torn to him the way Hopkins
Get out of
did.
here,
But
bro.
hold up. Hey,
He beat one good fighter. That's it. One good
Hey
fighter.
man, listen.
Stop.
You had this soliloquy. You gotta let us talk now. All right, Tito Trinidad was a great fighter, but Tito Trinidad was found to have his gloves. He was juicing with them damn gloves. That's number one. Number
No,
two,
that's a
when
lie.
it comes to hold up. We let you talk. Now it's my turn. When it comes to the competition level, Terrence Crawford fought the same people that Errol Spence fought, and he beat some of them in better fashion. For example, Sean Porter. He fought Sean Porter just like Errol fought him and stopped him.
3 years later.
Stopped him. I
3
mean, you
years
talking about
later.
3 years later? They all Terrence is older than Errol. Terrence is older than Sean.
He fought Sean 3 years later.
Terrence is older than Sean.
He fought
older
Sean
than
3 years
Errol.
later.
But he's older than him. And not
That's what
only that,
Bro,
Crawford comes from 135 pounds.
we all know this. The fighters, they deteriorate in the gym. They deteriorate in the gym as they train. We know that. Some
So
spot,
only
if
one
some
Crawford
spot
deterioration?
Crawford
position,
is older, then shouldn't he be more
Some-
deteriorated?
Yeah, right? So Crawford
Some-
don't go to the gym?
some spotting sections are harder than the fight. That's what I'm saying. Crawford's been
So
fighting
if Crawford
chumps.
is older and he actually
doesn't
been
matter
boxing
if
longer
he's
than Sean
older.
Porter. Hey, check this out, man.
He
Terrence
wasn't
Crawford
matched the
started
same way
boxing
Spence was
before.
matched.
Hold up, man. Hold up. Terrence Crawford started boxing before Sean Porter and Errol Spence, number one, and he's older than them. So he has more tread on his tires than both of those fighters. So
All
by
right.
your own argument, talking about fighters get worn down in the gym and all that, Terrence Crawford should be
Yeah.
more worn down than both of them.
All
And
right.
he beat both.
Okay. So let me ask you. This is all I'm gonna ask. I've been watching you for a while. You think Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, all the welterweights, Sugar Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, they would not Benitez, all of them, Sugar Ray Leonard, they would not have fight Boots Ennis right now. They would avoid him because of money.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they all
that's a
do with
very
Mike
broad question, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Sugar Ray Leonard, he was not somebody that was just trying to jump in the ring with every damn
No.
body. He could have fought Hagler at an earlier time. So I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Listen,
what
he
the-
ducked Mike McCallum.
He should have
ducked
fight
Mike
Hagler
McCallum.
earlier when
So
they
that's all
were
we have to say.
3 weight classes apart.
Huh?
But they were 2 or 3 weight classes apart.
It was two weight
Him and
classes, but
Hagler.
so was Roberto
I'm from
Duran.
Brockton, Massachusetts. I'm in Brockton right now. I'm a big Hagler fan.
Okay.
Well, I have a
And
question for you,
I
So
know
what
Carlos.
weight
Sugar
class
Ray
did
beat
Duran come from to fight
Hagler.
Sugar Ray? I'll wait.
But answer my question. Why Crawford is not fighting Boots Ennis? When I know in my heart all the legends that I mentioned, they would have fought Boots Ennis
Look,
if they were in
I
the
can
same
give you
weight
the
class.
answer. I can give you the answer.
Give
Because
him the
he's
answer,
going
dog.
after that money with Canelo. And plus, if he fought Canelo, why? See, this is the thing I laugh about.
Excuses.
Boots Ennis, you just said that he has nothing on his resume, and Boots Ennis has nothing on his resume.
Excuses.
He's going for Canelo.
Excuses.
Ain't no excuses. He going for Canelo.
Excuses. Boots is at 147. 5
It don't
Boots.
matter. He'll move up. He's not a pussy.
5 Boots.
Look, I've never seen. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Boots Ennis, I don't see any of those fighters being afraid of each other. Errol got his ass whooped, and he's still not afraid to get back in the ring with Terrence Crawford. So I
Errol's
don't think
done.
Crawford is afraid of Boots. I think it's a monetary thing. Crawford is just now getting some type of stardom. He's 36 years old. So while the iron is hot, he has to make this money. While the
One
iron is
good
hot, he has
fight.
to fill up the pot. You understand what I'm saying?
He
He's
had
not
one good
Canelo where he's
fight.
been the face of boxing for the past 10 years. So if he doesn't fight Boots and he goes after bigger money fights, I really couldn't be mad with him. He fought the biggest rival of his era in Errol Spence, and he dominated.
I wouldn't be mad either. But he should fight the guys at his weight class. I get mad. I was mad the other day when Teofimo was calling Crawford out. I'm mad at these fighters calling the
I
bigger.
understand where you're coming from. But let me
Listen
tell
to
you
me.
something. Most super fights.
I don't hate Bud. I'm a big boxing
Yeah, I
fan.
feel you. I feel you. Listen.
But-
I understand exactly where you're coming from. But most super fights, somebody has to go up. Because
Okay.
rarely do you have two
Well,
big
he-
stars in the same weight class.
Let's
Okay,
be
listen
real.
to this one. Listen to this one.
You know that?
Nobody,
Let's be
nobody
real
has
now.
to go up.
Listen
Hold
to
up.
this one.
Yeah, Charlo's right there. Boots is right there. No reason to go up.
No,
Crawford
listen,
versus
listen,
Canelo. Crawford
listen,
versus
listen,
Canelo is a
listen,
bullshit ass fight.
Canelo
explain
killed Crawford, bro. It's not
Bro,
fair.
boxing is more than just fighting. Boxing is a business. Bud is
It's
36 years old. He been
Listen to listen to this
And the
one.
business is fucking up the game.
When Lomachenko was calling out Mikey Garcia decided to go up
Listen, bro.
to fight
Y'all can't
Spence
cut people
because
off. You gotta let them finish.
it's easier to say I got beat by a bigger guy than getting
Exactly.
battered by my own
That's
class.
facts. Hey, but hold
Exactly.
on,
Let
hold
me
up.
say something, please.
Hey,
He
hold up. Let me
still
let my
can
man
beat out
Don.
bigger
Let me let my
fighters.
man Don speak his piece.
Yeah.
Hey, don't nobody cut him off because we've
All
been
right.
hearing y'all. We get y'all point. Go
Boxing
ahead, Don.
is
Tell me
more
what
than
it's about.
just fighting. Boxing is also a business. Bud is 36 years old. Remember, before he got that Spence fight, he was being ducked by everybody, including Spence. So he didn't make the money that he should have he should have made. So now at 36 years old, his time clock is ticking. Boots have nothing. Fighting Boots gonna get him what? 8 million?
All right. So
If that.
Canelo is gonna get him what he need. It's a business. I don't care what none
I
of y'all.
know, I understand,
He
but
already fought everybody. He if he fight Boots, he's still fighting a bigger man.
Well,
He
he was
can't
kind of
I
severely
already
overpaid for
say
that
I
Spence
wouldn't be
fight.
mad if he go up and fight Canelo. I would not be mad. I understand it's a business.
about a
But if he
Bud
go
was
up
never a
and
big
fight
money
Canelo,
fighter, even to
if
this
he
day.
goes up
Yo,
and fight
somebody
Canelo
says
and
Terrence
lose,
Crawford waited for after the car crash.
if
How
he
the hell
go,
does that make sense?
And
Like
if
he
he
goes
knew
up-
the arrow was going to get in the car
That's
crash.
casuals.
if
That's
he
casuals.
goes
You
up
know them
and fight
casuals.
Canelo and lose,
I
right?
gotta catch up Terrence Crawford a profit now.
Yo,
Oh,
if he
shit.
go up and fight Canelo and lose and retire, do not put him in the same category as Sugar Ray Robinson, bro. Are you
Nobody
fucking
Sugar Ray
put him in
crazy?
Robinson went up to
category of
fight
Sugar
Joey
Ray Robinson.
Maxim and lost.
Come on, bro. One
Nobody
good
put him in the
fight.
category of
Bud
Sugar Ray
He
Robinson.
is
had
not a
one
draw.
super fight. One super
Only thing I'm
fight.
saying is this: they fight alike. I think that Sugar Ray was more appreciated because he was more of a natural star. I think he had more of the mainstream look. But when you look at the style, the way that they set their traps, the way that they use it, even with the footwork, power in both hands, like the shit is crazy. They
Yeah,
fight
but
very similar. When
the
you look at
reason
their
why I
long
don't
arms,
give him that,
73 inch reach, Terrence Crawford 74 inch
Spence
reach.
wasn't 100%, bro. He wasn't. Boots Ennis
is?
is 100%.
What boxer going to the ring 100%?
Nobody. Everybody's
All right,
always
then.
have injuries.
And these fighters,
But
with that, but
I'd rather see Boots and Bud, same weight class, than see Canelo. Canelo would fucking kill Crawford.
I want to see Bud and Jermell Charlo.
but Prophet
That's
is
what I want to see. Or Bud and
Bud
Keith
and
Thurman.
Charlo. If these
But I
fighters
really do wanna see the
cared
Ennis
about
fight as
money
well,
so
but I wanna
much,
see Bud and
they would
Charlo,
fight
man.
more than twice a fucking year.
Thank you. Yeah, once a year, saving his body. When all these
That's
legends were
everybody.
fighting at least 4 times a year.
That's just boxing, bro. That's boxing today. Accept it.
Okay, it's business. It's business. I understand,
You
but
can't
it's
accept it,
easier.
then you have
It's
to
easier to say
back
I
to-
love
You want more
Canelo.
money? You want more money? You fucking work overtime. That's all there is to
Exactly.
it.
That's not how it works. But
That's the way
for
you do it. That's
have-
Yeah, that is how it works. That is how it fucking works.
That's how it
That's
works.
America.
Nah,
That's
not
how it
really
works.
Terrence
today,
Crawford
bro.
just
Like,
made 30
you
mil.
can fight like
One
5
night.
times a year and still be a nobody. You feel me? Look at Terrence
Yeah.
Crawford last fight. He only sold 5,000. Not Spence, but the one before that with Ebenezian. Bro sold 5,000, and then he flopped with Errol Spence. Like
He
it
didn't
don't
flop with
really
Errol
matter. You got to
Spence.
work on your personal image. I mean,
He didn't flop
500K
with
when
Errol
you
Spence.
500K when you paid the fighters 50 million. That's a flop, bro. They lost money on the whole deal. They
Hello?
did not make money on that.
Every
fucking
fight is not going to break pay-per-view records. People have to accept that.
Yeah,
All my
but when you
stuff
market
not
the fight
working.
as
I
the
can't even
biggest
hear
Canelo-
fight
nobody.
of the
hold
last
on.
decade, you would expect
Canelo and
at
Jermell
least
Charlo
one.
only did 700,000. Canelo and Golovkin only did around 600, 700,000. And Canelo's been the face of boxing for a decade. It's people who didn't
Ain't
even know
nobody gonna
Terrence
break
until
that
he
shit.
did the press conference. They did good.
You can jailbreak anything these days. They don't give a fuck about that. Ain't gonna
People
happen no
worry
more.
about the business part of boxing.
Everybody
and the benefit
jailbreaks
they
pay-per-views.
They talk about the benefits of the the money management part when it benefit them. It's all around the board. Shit,
Yeah.
Crawford gonna fight who he rather fight to make that money at 36
Yep.
years old. His time clock is kicking. Fuck what
Right.
everybody else talking about with this Boots eating his shit. Boots ain't fucking. He got a belt. He got the fucking belt they mailed to him that Crawford gave up. Move on. He ain't got to do nothing you no motherfuckers want him to do. He gonna do what's better
Facts.
for him and his
Yeah,
family
you're
at
right.
36 years old. And
You're
that's
right.
it.
He don't have to do it, but
Yeah.
to be considered a legend on top of other legends, and when
Beating
he
Boots
only
ain't gonna
fought
make him no
one true
legend.
welterweight,
Soon as he
one
beat
true
Boots, they gonna say,
welterweight.
"Oh, he ain't beat nobody."
If they
So we knew he
say
was a
that as soon
bum.
as he fight Boots, they're gonna say Boots never fought nobody.
Yeah,
Because
come
Boots
on,
hasn't.
man.
Boots
If he
right now
beat
hasn't fought
Canelo,
nobody, so
that's
he's not
gonna
gonna get
make
no
him
Because
credit.
legend.
nobody want to step in the ring with him.
Well, who? Boots?
Boots.
So who want to step
Boots.
in
Nobody
the
wants to step in with
so,
Boots.
okay, if you line 10 people up and you ask them who they rather fight right now, Crawford or Boots?
Boots is suffering from the same issue Crawford was. Motherfuckers do
Wait,
not
wait,
build their brand,
KJ,
and they
didn't you
expect to
say
get
a
paid millions.
majority
Boots got to
of
put in the work and build up his brand, just like Crawford had to, and Crawford
And then
still needs to
everybody
build
go
his
by
brand.
this. Everybody yell lineal. But when Crawford beat Spence, they forget all the people Spence beat. They forget about that. Oh yeah, Crawford still ain't fighting nobody. He only beat a
He,
crash car dummy. Come
he
on, man.
hasn't fight nobody.
See, but also I'm
He
wondering
fought the
how
guy
much
from
does,
England 5 years after Spence knocked him
It
out.
don't matter. He beat
so
And
Spence. He
Spence
beat
fought
him
him.
my thing
Spence
is
fought him after
what is
Triple G
Bud's price
destroyed him.
tag? What is too much? What is too little for Bud? You feel me? Because he ain't getting 25 million again. I mean, not against any of the fighters
Yeah,
that
you
he has
crazy because
available to him.
if he
If he
fight
get the
Canelo,
Canelo
he get
fight, that's gonna
25
be the
million.
biggest check
I
of
mean,
his
but
life.
Canelo not gonna fight that man. Why would he? Bud
Hey,
ain't nothing to Canelo.
Canelo isn't gonna fight him because Canelo a bitch too.
He's small.
Yeah, that,
Well,
he just
facts.
said Bud
That
ain't nothing
may
to
be
Canelo.
true.
That's a
That may be
biased
true.
talk. See, I don't like to talk this biased shit. You know
That ain't no biased
shit. I
talk.
don't like
That ain't
that
no
shit.
biased talk.
Canelo ain't all
Why don't
that.
he fight
Canelo
Jamal,
lost 2 fights.
Nokia,
Us four. He lost against Laura.
Benavidez?
Laura, yeah, they acting putting him on the pedestal like he that great. He all
like
right.
he's
He
under,
a
like
good
he
fighter.
undefeated, like he one of the best. Canelo all time great, but Canelo is not on that Floyd level, and Canelo fans hate that
That's
he's
what
not on
I'm
Floyd level.
saying. He ain't on no level unbeatable.
Yeah, he's not
So
unbeatable,
that
but
goes
he's
back to my
bigger.
question: Who
Hey,
can
Dimitri
Crawford
Bivol
fight
said
for
it before
25 million?
he said y'all act like Canelo is a unbeatable fighter. He's a man with a loss.
Bivol is 6'2", bro.
I'm just saying. Bivol pointed out that Canelo wasn't unbeatable, and then he went out and beat
He's
him.
not unbeatable, but he's bigger.
So
So who's Bud
So,
fighting for 25 million?
so he's
That's why
bigger,
Canelo's
bro.
trying to fight someone that has only 2 12-round fights.
that means a lot of fighters should have just bowed down and folded over because somebody was taller than them. And come on, man, stop the bullshit, man.
That's what he's doing with Boots. That's what he's doing with
No, he's not
Boots.
doing nothing with Boots. Boots ain't no money.
Ah,
He wants that
exactly.
money, man. He's 36
Exactly.
years old, man.
He doesn't want to
Ryan
fight
Garcia's
Boots because
tall.
of the
Tank
money.
Davis
But
knocked his ass out.
Yeah.
Listen,
He-
y'all
See, my thing is
acting
that,
like
like,
this just
you,
started.
who
The same
else
thing
is
with
money
Sugar
for
Ray
Bud,
Leonard.
though?
He didn't want to fight Mike McCallum because it wasn't no money. It was like Mike McCallum. I ain't fight Mike McCallum. That's a dangerous fight for a couple of thousand, a couple of $1 million. This been going on for years. This ain't nothing new. When you get older, you want that money.
so Mike McCallum was more dangerous than Tommy Hearns?
Tommy,
No, it's a different
Mike
fight.
McCallum was more.
who you think gave Tommy Hearns his name?
Mike
Who you think?
Mike
who do you
McCallum was
think
more
named-
dangerous than Duran?
But he got the money for them. See, you don't understand what I'm saying. When he fought
Do
the man, he
not,
got the
do
money
not
for it.
compare Mike
When he fought
McCallum with Tommy Hearns.
Now, who's comparing him to Tommy Hearns? What are you talking about? You
Do
gotta
not
listen.
compare. Do
See,
You
not
gotta
compare
listen,
I
Mike
bro.
think,
McCallum.
You
Judah,
don't
the point
listen.
to this
You
one,
let
bro,
your
is there's no
friends
other
learn
viable option
to
out there for him.
take over. You gotta listen. I said, well, who you think named Tommy Hearns the body snatcher? Who you think named him? Since you know this history of boxing so well, who named Mike McCallum the body snatcher?
You
You know
tell
who
me.
did? Tommy Hearns named him that. You know why? Because in that Kronk gym, he used to tear Tommy Hearns' ass up. And that's why, see, Tommy Hearns wanted to fight him. See, and you know who didn't let him fight him? Emmanuel Stewart said, hell no,
and who was better?
He's going to beat you. He said,
who was
hell
better?
no, Tommy. No, see, what you're looking at is whose reputation was better. You know, you're looking at whose reputation was better. Mike McCallum wanted to prove who was better in the ring.
Careers.
Mike McCallum wanted to fight Tommy Hearns. He wanted to fight Sugar. He wanted to fight Hagler.
Calahero got a funny voice. He said, reputation, careers.
All Mike McCallum was just as good as
Reputation.
Something that I call an underground boxer.
About reputation, bro.
It's a lot of Don Tudor, right? He's telling you about an underground boxer. There's a lot of boxers.
Because you know somebody don't make they was better.
Top guys. I'll give you an example. Aaron Pryor, he probably could have beat Sugar Ray Leonard, but Sugar Ray never gave him an opportunity.
Wouldn't give him an opportunity.
So Aaron Pryor is not talked about amongst casuals like how Duran and Hagler and Hearns and Sugar Ray.
He was smaller.
He's like an underground goat.
Yeah. He wasn't from the US, so that was another thing that went against him.
But let me tell you this. Okay, why Adam Pryor, when he was calling out Sugar Ray Leonard, he should have go up to 147. He stay at 140.
He would have went to 147.
It's the same thing Teofimo Lopez is doing with Bud. He's calling out Bud, gain the weight. Go to 147 and call me out.
What are you talking about? I'm confused now. See, I don't think you knew what happened back then. He asked Ray for a fight.
Yeah.
He was at 140. He asked Ray for the fight. They turned it down. Had he said yes, he would have went to 147.
When he went to the podium and called Sugar Ray Leonard out, they were fighting at the same card that weekend.
Okay, and Sugar
when each fighter won their fight, Adam Pryor should say, "This is my last fight at 140. I'm moving to 147." And he never did.
Sugar would have gave him the fight.
He never moved to 147
because he didn't want to fight nobody else at 147. He wanted the money.
So it's like Tank Davis.
It's the same thing with Durant.
They want to fight you. They're going to make the fight.
Fighter calling the bigger guy out, gain the weight, go up to the weight class, and
that's a lie, bro. Durant called out Sugar. Sugar said yes, and then he moved up. So don't say everybody. Stop it. Sugar pick and choose. He picked it, Durant, because he said this little guy can't beat
Roberto Duran.
He said this little guy can't beat me.
Adam Pryor was better than Roberto Duran.
Did you see Roberto Duran and Aaron Pryor fight?
It's not even about
Duran would have beat Pryor.
Listen.
How can you predict with Durant? You predicted Duran would have beat Pryor.
Hold up.
Duran is in the top 20 ever. Top 20 ever. Roberto Duran.
You probably picked Duran was going to beat Hearns.
But it's not even about that question. It's not even about who better because styles make fights. Because look, George Foreman, he ran through Frazier. He ran through Norton. Norton and Frazier, they both beat Ali. Ali beat Foreman. It's not about who necessarily better. Is Duran more versatile as a fighter? Did he have a greater legacy than Aaron Pryor? Yes. But would Aaron Pryor have given Sugar Ray Leonard hell and probably beat him? Yes. Two things could be true. It all depends on how Sugar Ray Leonard matches up against that style.
You're right.
That style was a hellacious, dangerous style.
So
Aaron Pryor
styles make fights, right? You just said it. Why don't Crawford fight with Ennis?
You're a broken record, boy. You're a broken record.
Yeah, explain that one.
You're a broken record.
Styles make fights. Fight. Listen. Like if you have asked 100 people, hardcore boxing fans, who you want Bob Crawford to fight, at least 70% would say.
All right, hold up, El Calero. I gotta move on. Hey, Don Judah. Somebody says I'm delusional if I think that Leonard would beat Pryor. Now, if I think that Pryor would beat Leonard. So I gotta ask you because you watch these dudes fight in real time. Do you think Pryor had a chance to beat Leonard and why?
Yes, he did. He had a chance because first of all, he was a two-fisted fighter. He was like Pacquiao. Pacquiao is basically what Aaron Pryor was. He could beat anybody on any given night. Dude was great. He wasn't no average little boxer. The dude was a great fighter. But like you said, some people they don't want to put on that pedestal because you had the great 80s. They want to say Duran, Sugar, Hagler, and who else? Hearns, Duran, Sugar, Hagler was the only great fighters of the '80s. That's a bunch of crap, bro. It's
It
a
was
bunch
just
of crap.
marketing. It was just the Four Kings. It was just a marketing thing.
Yeah, that was a marketing thing. You had dudes like Aaron Pryor, like I already told you, Mike McCallum, who was ducked by all of them. And you could go on Google and you can listen to the interview with Hagler, with Mike McCallum asking him, "Why didn't you fight me, Marvin? You never came up." What do you mean I never came up? I asked you for a fight. It just never came up. And I love Hagler. I love
Hey,
Hagler.
everybody
The
keep on.
truth
Hey,
is, the
look, hey,
fact of the
look.
matter is, these are men.
Everybody talk about that McCallum versus Hagler, right? I, I was watching boxing with my uncles and them, so I was a little bit younger. But as I got older, I did the research on McCallum and Hagler. What y'all don't realize is Hagler was about at the end of his career when McCallum became relevant. Y'all don't realize that
Bro,
McCallum
according to
became.
who?
Hold on, just hold on. I know you finna get. I know you ready to rebuttal. But if you go look at their careers, McCallum was just not being relevant when Hagler was at the end of his career. I'm telling you, it's the truth. Now, could they have still fought? Yes, they could have still fought. But what I'm saying is Hagler was already just about to lead the sport anyway. But I want to say one thing about Sugar Ray and Aaron Pryor. Now,
Hold on,
if
wait.
Sugar
Let's address that. Let's go
Yeah,
point by point. Let's go point by point.
yeah,
You
yeah.
said Hagler was going to was about to leave the
No, that's
sport.
not true.
Was this after? Was this
That's
because
not
before or
true.
after he fought Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah,
this
that
was
was they,
a couple fights before he fought Sugar Ray Leonard is
So
when
then, the
hold
only
on, hold
reason
on,
he
hold
left the
on, hold
sport,
on,
hold on. He
hold
left the
on.
sport out of frustration.
I'm gonna
He was
get him
done
right. I'm gonna
for.
get him before
If
that.
it was before he fought Sugar Ray, then he
Hold
damn sure
on.
could have fought Mike
Yeah,
McCallum.
exactly.
Hold
John
on.
Beef McGarvey was
I didn't
after
say he
Mike
couldn't have
McCallum.
fought Mike McCallum. I said he was at the end of his career.
No,
I
he
said he was
wasn't.
at the end. Yes, he
Listen,
was. Because
I
Mike
just gotta
McCallum
say
tried to
this.
fight him before the Mugabe fight.
Bro,
Mike McCallum tried to fight him before the Mugabe fight. I
but even
remember.
before that, he did.
Okay, hold on.
And he refused.
Mike McCallum tried to fight him before the Mugabe fight. Now, him taking the Mugabe fight instead of fighting Mike McCallum to me is not egregious because Mugabe was a dangerous fighter as
Mugabe
well.
was a piece too.
Yeah,
I
Mugabe
don't
was
think
a dangerous
That's not the
fighter as
point.
well.
That's not the point. The point that Don Judah is saying is why the fuck he never fought him. Period.
No, he could have fought. He could have fought him. But what
And
I'm
not
saying
only
is,
that,
hold on. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to get on him for not fighting him because Hagler had already been through a murderer's row
oh, you
before
must
Mike
admit.
McCallum was even thought of.
No, what you
Remember?
missed was, see, that's what you probably think. What you missed was people were saying that, a lot of times in these lives, people say, oh, back in the days, nobody ducked nobody, and today they ducking everybody. I bring that up to show them that, yeah, people did duck.
Oh yeah, all through boxing history, people been ducking
Not to
each
go
other.
in depth to,
Boxing history, people
you
been
know,
ducking each other.
why that didn't happen. I just go in,
Yeah,
but everybody loved them four right there. So I
yeah,
always
Yeah.
give them
yeah,
that,
yeah, 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 yeah.
they
I
ain't
get
Hey,
it.
duck.
make your second point, man. Talk sports.
Okay, so my second thing is when y'all talk about Sugar Ray Leonard versus my guy Aaron Pryor. Now, if Sugar Ray Leonard would have fought Aaron Pryor before he fought Duran, I got Aaron Pryor giving him all the trouble in the world and probably beating him. But if he fought Sugar Ray Leonard after Duran, after what Sugar Ray Leonard learned
No,
about the Duran fight,
exactly.
I got Sugar Ray Leonard winning.
We agree. We agree. We agree. I always said that
That's an
because
interesting take.
Sugar had this thing where ain't no smaller fighter coming in here to brawl me. That's why he did. That's why he fought like that with Duran. Tried to go toe to toe with Duran, and he
It wasn't a
realized,
smart game
oh,
plan.
this little dude could fight. It's not only talk; he could really fight. So in the rematch, it was like, okay, I'm gonna outbox you this time, and that's what he would have done with Aaron Pryor had he came after Duran. But before Duran, he would have fought him exactly like he fought Duran, and he definitely
And law.
lost. That was a
Yeah.
two-fisted fight.
That's a great breakdown from both of y'all,
Yeah,
man.
that's a
Damn.
two. Aaron Pryor was a two-fisted fighter, bro. Square up, he could hit you with that left just as powerful, and it's coming back to back. Pow, pow, pow. Like
Hey, I do like this comp, Sugar Ray Robinson and Terrence Crawford. To me, that's a great comp. That's a
People
great.
listen. People don't want to put Bud up there with Ray, but stylistically they fight so similar. It's crazy, and they both have power in both hands. They both got like Bud. He has a high. I think he has 37 fights and 30 KOs or 31 KOs. Like, and since he's got to welterweight, he stopped every last welterweight that he's fought. So this man has been knocking people out from the start of his career.
The style and the temperament are, to me, kind of similar.
Yeah,
The style, the long arms, the long limbs.
the counter punch, knockout setups
can knock you out going backwards, going forward.
Yeah. A lot of what Terrence Crawford does, he can do it on the front foot, but off the back foot.
Now I know a lot of people probably people probably wouldn't even agree with this, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Terrence Crawford would have gave Mayweather all the trouble in the world. I'm talking about all the trouble in the world.
I was watching. I've been thinking about that, but I think Floyd would have been a little bit quicker and a little bit faster mentally, and Floyd would have tried to make it a defensive fight and would pace himself. Because Terrence is a freakish athlete, and that would have been the first time Floyd fought somebody. Number one is a switch hitter, but number two got longer arms than him, but it's fast. Like,
calm the fuck down now.
Hey, say that again. Say that again. Say that again. Mayweather has never been in the ring with anybody with longer arms than him. The only guy that was comparable was De La Hoya.
Well, De La Hoya.
The only one that was comparable was De La Hoya. And when De La Hoya was using his jab, he was giving Floyd a lot of problems.
Tony Pep wasn't on the level of a Terrence Crawford. But the thing is this. It's kind of, when it comes to the great fighters, it's kind of good that they didn't fight each other, because like Ali and Frazier, they took a lot off of each other's lives.
Yeah, they do.
So it's sad, but it's
when
good.
When people say why two great fighters don't like to get in the ring with each other, because they understand we're gonna leave a piece of ourselves up in this ring.
Yeah, you're not gonna be the same after them fights. I mean, but I don't think that great fighters don't like to do that. I think they love to do that. It's just that the reality of it is, if Ray Robinson and Terrence Crawford and Floyd all was at the same time, they're gonna fight each other a couple times, then that's it. You can hang it up. That's career. Whereas it's better to have somebody like who was a super fighter go up against a really good fighter. Like it sucks.
And that's why you don't have David running in there with everybody.
Crawford don't got power.
Don't have power.
No, don't pay it no mind.
Come on, man.
No. If Crawford had power, he would have dropped Spence right away. He was hitting Spence in the face like a million damn times.
Dropped him with a jab. What are you saying?
Man would have dropped him.
I'm not.
He dropped him.
Yeah, that jab was off balance. Spence was off balance.
No. I guess the other 20 times he knocked Spence down was off balance.
I'm about to school him real quick.
Charlo got power.
Hold on, I'm about to school him real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Charlo got power.
You got to realize that when Crawford dropped him with the jab, that was his power punch. That was his strong hand. You realize that, right? That was his strong hand when he dropped him with the power. That's why the jab was so devastating, because he was leading with his strong hand. That's why he was busting up Crawford like not Crawford. That's why he was busting up Spence like that, because he was leading with Look, De La Hoya is the same. De La Hoya is a southpaw guy that fought orthodox. So that's why De La Hoya jab was so tremendous, because that was his strong hand. So you getting hit with the strong lead punch all the time in your face, you're gonna get busted up, and you're gonna get busted up quick.
My thing is this.
But Judah, nobody knows that. But Zach Judah is right.
The fight between Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford was much competitive. Nobody expected that.
If Ennis was landing the same shots that Crawford was landing, he would have dropped him before that.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something about that Terrence Crawford and Ennis fight. I'm gonna break that down. I'm gonna break that fight down to you right now, to the lowest way you can understand this. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. I like Ennis, and I think Ennis need a little bit more seasoning. I'm gonna tell you why. Because hold on. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna let you have the floor. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why he need a little bit more seasoning before he get in there with Terrence Crawford. Because as of late, Ennis has had everything go his way in the fight. Everything. And Ennis has been able to use his speed to overwhelm all his opponents. No one has been able to make him change up his speed level. He has not got in the ring with anybody that timed his speed. Exactly. And to me, that's a big no-no when you're trying to get in there with Terrence, because Terrence is going to time his speed. He's going to punch in between his punches. Just because you're faster than someone doesn't mean you're going to get your punch there faster on the target before the other person with the timing. So to me, I like timing over speed if that timing is intelligent. That's what I like. I like time.
I agree with that.
I like
Everything he
timing
said
over
about
speed.
Pacquiao's
what
faster
everybody
than
said about
Mayweather.
Crawford, why Crawford shouldn't fight Spence. You're literally saying everything about what everybody said about Crawford. That's why Crawford never got fights. Now you put it on Ennis, but you saying Ennis ain't getting no fights. They're the exact same person. One is younger and one is
No, they
bigger.
don't even. They don't, I mean, I see what you're saying, but when it comes to like the way
Same
they don't
thing. It's
fight,
the exact same thing.
Oh
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no.
It's
Don Judah.
I'm not
Don
saying I don't
Judah.
want to see
Like
the fight.
Terrence Crawford, you gotta understand that man went undisputed at 140.
No,
Like
no, no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Look,
Thank
look, look,
you.
look, Chris. Hey,
I'm saying,
Chris, is
I'm
that your
saying
name,
they're
Chris?
not the same. Terrence, Jerome Ennis hasn't been fighting
Yeah.
champions and shit. He's been
Okay,
fighting.
no,
To be
Chris.
honest
What?
with you, when you look at
Chris,
fight,
Think
what
about
I'm
who he
saying
went
is,
a lot of
undisputed at 140 with.
Chris.
Who did
Hey,
he fight
lazy
at
Chris.
140
fighters.
that was great?
Hey, Chris. I'm not
Huh?
saying that Enos don't deserve to fight. I'm saying in order for Enos, see, deserving the fight and winning the fight is two different things. I'm saying for him to win the fight, he need a little bit more seasoning. Now he deserved to fight. I ain't tripping on that. But I'm
But
saying if you think he gonna
think about
win,
when you say that. Who is he going to fight to get him prepared for Crawford? There's no other Crawford. There's nobody as good as Crawford or Spence. So he has to fight the best
Fight.
to get that skill
I
set.
already said
He's not going to get it fighting
you
bums.
could fight Spence, but I don't know how Spence gonna look. But Spence would be a good fight. Keith Thurman, fight some of them old dudes that should have fought Crawford a while
Then
ago.
he ain't gonna get no respect for
Yeah.
that because they're gonna say they washed and
Who
Crawford and
cares?
Spence
You know how
already.
stepping
And
ladder.
by the time that happens, Crawford's gonna leave the game. By the time that happens, Crawford's gonna be gone.
I mean, okay, so what? It'd be other
but
people. Ali fought an old ass Archie Moore. Like it happens
yeah.
in boxing.
And he fought old
Couldn't
Floyd
say that.
Patterson. Old Floyd Patterson. So I mean, it happens in boxing, man. As long as you fighting, I don't care that you old. Retire then if you old.
Yeah, that's how we
Yeah.
think when we look at the game. But these fighters, they not gonna think that way. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we old. We ain't finna go fuck with this little ass kid. Like he young and he chasing them, but they on their way out the door. So it's hard for him to get his skill level to
But I
fight
would
them when
love
they
to
go
see.
leave."
I would love to see the Ennis fight. I think Crawford stops him like 7 or 8. Be honest with you, I think it's 7 to 8 stoppage. 7 to 8 round stoppage. Because the first 3 rounds. Look. I'm gonna tell you this. Terrence Crawford is gonna come out. Now if Terrence Crawford starts to fight Southpaw, the fight is gonna be over about 6-7 rounds anyway.
But you got to think they both switch.
Oh,
so
no. Hold on. Because Enos and Terrence Crawford switching is two different type of intelligence. Terrence Crawford only switches when he already know that he got you. That's why I knew he was about to stop. Now see, he had a chance to stop Earl Spence early, like in round 5. I think he took it easy on Earl Spence. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the man felt sorry for Earl Spence because he was dominating Earl Spence. And if Terrence Crawford would have stepped it up a little bit more, he would have stopped him right 4 or 5 rounds. If he would have stepped it up a little bit more, because you heard.
But he didn't switch at all against
No,
Spence,
he
though.
didn't. He didn't. Because you know why? You know what Shakur Stevenson told him? He said, why play around and come out orthodox? Just come out southpaw and just come out dominating from the round 1. And then Terrence Crawford was like, okay, I'll come out southpaw. Because at first Terrence Crawford was in the dressing room saying, what should I do? Should I come out orthodox? Should I come out southpaw? Shakur Stevenson said, no, I told him just come out southpaw. You already know what he gonna do. Just come out southpaw. So he came out southpaw and he just started dominating almost from round 1.
All right, now check this out, man. Terrence Crawford came out southpaw. I'm getting the fuck up off the live. We had a great live. Hey, Don Judah, appreciate you. Talk Sports, Chris, Wickety, the guy that came up earlier, Tito Ortiz, McCullover dude that was going back and forth with everybody. I appreciate you coming up on the live, man. Y'all have a good evening.
good argument. All right, yeah.